theater student, lover, and geek. Theater has impacted my life in innumerable ways, molding me into the person that I am today. But although theater has taught me the skills to maneuver through life successfully, I have not always had the same passion for the arts that I do now. Throughout my elementary school days, I was heavily invested in sports. My parents, in fact, signed me up for every single sports camp there was. I was immersed in this world of soccer, basketball, baseball, swimming, horseback riding, all sorts of different things. But when my grandma came to visit, she would ask me to choreograph a dance for her or write her a short skit, and I would force my entire family to come and watch my performance. I loved that. I loved to hear my family's applause. It made me feel accomplished and individualistic. By the time high school rolled around, though, my perception of the arts was just as primitive as in my elementary school days. But my counselor actually suggested that I take Theater 1 my first year of high school because he said that it would provide me with an outlet for my creativity and give me this basis of friends to start off my first year in a new school, in a high school. My first few weeks in that Theater 1 class were unforgettable. To most of the students, they were just starters to this long year ahead of us, but to me, they were much, much more. We had just a few activities that we played, and in those first few weeks, I made this immense group of friends that I now have irreplaceable bonds with. Without that class, I would not be able to communicate as successfully with my peers or with adults. I would not have the self-confidence to stand up for myself, like right now, and talk about issues that I am passionate about. And I wouldn't be able to memorize and analyze texts for my English class, as well as other classes as successfully, not to mention all of these amazing relationships that I have formed. Just about a year later, I now have such a different perception of the arts than I did when I was younger. I now understand that arts education is an integral part of growing up and developing these important life skills to maneuver successfully. Theater brings people in the same room, like we are right now in a theater, and allows us to feel similar emotions. We are in a world, in a society filled with judgment, and theater allows us to come together, people of different backgrounds, allows us to come together to escape this reality of our lives and just feel the characters, the vibrant emotions, as well as these interesting imaginings away from our real life. Theater brings people together from all different backgrounds and teaches empathy. A statement from the former U.S. Secretary of Education says, "I believe that arts education in the form of music, theater, dance, and the visual arts is the most creative way to find the gold buried just beneath the surface. They, children, have a spark of creativity and a motivation for life that needs training. Training to help them become the confident young men and women of our society." Student dropout rates associated with people in the arts are significantly lower, and in fact, people considered at high risk for dropping out of high school are redirected towards the arts, and many of them cite this as the major source of them remaining in school. The arts are core to us. Low-income students who participate in the arts are in fact twice more likely to graduate from high school. The arts are also protected as a key subject under both the Federal Elementary as well as the Secondary Education Act. And 48 out of our 50 states have recognized programs for the arts. Now, according to a 2005 Harris poll that was taken, there are different categories for people involved in the arts. 86% of people agree that the arts improve a child's attitude towards school. 93% agree that the arts are vital to providing a well-rounded education. 83% of people also believe that the arts teach children to communicate more effectively with others. And 79% agree that the arts are missing from public education today. In terms of standardized testing, on the 2005 SAT, students involved in the arts outscored non-art students by 65% on the verbal component and 34% on the math component. Those are some big numbers. A study published in Champions of Change in 1999 cites theater arts as a major source in reading proficiency, gains in self-concept and motivation, and higher levels of empathy and tolerance towards others. We are blessed in this community to have such strong theater programs. We not only have an active thespian troupe that participates in state and nationwide competitions, but we have an improvisation troupe with a comedy sports team, as well as an amazing technical crew with adult volunteers that support us, as well as multiple directors, choreographers, and even dialect coaches to help our show run more smoothly. And next year, we are moving to this beautiful professional scale theater. Often, theater departments do not get the same support that we have been given. In fact, my middle school theater department was thrown into our cafeteria. That's where we performed. And theater departments are usually definitely not given the same support that we have been given. So, the reason that we have been given these programs is because we live in an environment that has been blessed with such an active boosters program. For an industry that makes up about $698 billion to our economy, that's roughly 4% of the GDP, the government allocates only about 7% of this to art groups inside of America. And most of the public funding that goes to the arts actually comes from small investors or little groups within America. And that's according to the NEA, the largest funder of the arts inside of America. Theater has changed how I view the world. I can now say that I see the world as the plot of a play. I know that conflict, big or small, can be resolved through hard work and determination. Theater has taught me how to connect with a population of people, and simply through my facial expressions and my vocal tone, evoke certain emotions. Not only that, but it has taught me how to understand myself better. I know now whether to deal with my problems internally or to express them to a group of people, just as a character often does, which is usually the conflict that they face. Theater opens people up to this world of innovative thinking and fosters new creative ideas that are so important to our culture today. Thank you.